Refunds. What's up, guys? My name is Crescent, and getting products returned isn't fun. So let's talk about what happens when a customer returns an item, the things you can do about it, and what you can do to prevent returns from happening in the first place. Okay, so first of all, what you should understand is that returns are unavoidable. It's part of the business of selling anything, and that includes selling on Amazon. In fact, on average, about 5 to 10% of in-store purchases are returned. However, that number rises to 15 to 40% for online purchases. The highest rate of returns are actually with casual apparel and electronics at around 12 to 18%, and as high as 35% for fashion apparel. That's why I stay far, far away from these types of products, and I suggest that you do the same and smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Amazon itself has a pretty open policy when it comes to customer returns, which from a seller's perspective works against us. But it's also what makes the Amazon marketplace such an attractive place for buyers. Amazon is very buyer-centric. They put their buyers first, not the sellers. Amazon makes returning a product quick, easy, and free, and they offer a 30-day return policy with no stipulations. Just click on return the item, give a reason, and it doesn't matter what the reason is. It could be legitimate, fraudulent, or they could have just changed their mind. It doesn't matter. Send the item back, and that's it. Some categories actually have an extended return period, like baby items that have a 90-day policy, which basically makes it zero risk to buy products from Amazon. So what actually happens when a customer returns an item? Well, when they initially bought the item from you, they were charged the sale price for the item. Amazon deducted their FBA fees, which consists of the fulfillment fee and the referral fee, and the remaining balance is credited to your seller account. That's how much money you made. So for example, if you sold an item for $30, and let's say the fulfillment fee is $6, and the referral fee is 15% of $30, then the buyer is charged $30, Amazon deducts fees, and your seller account is credited what's left. Now, when a buyer returns an item, several different possible outcomes can occur depending on if the item is sent back at all to Amazon or the condition of the item if it's sent back. So in the first scenario, if the customer requests a refund, but the item isn't returned to Amazon within 45 days of the refund, then in most cases, Amazon will end up charging the customer for the original sale, and you keep the revenue from the sale as if the return never happened. If the buyer does send the item back to Amazon, then when Amazon receives the item, they'll inspect it and evaluate whether it's in resellable condition or not. If it's determined that it is in resellable condition, meaning that it's in like new condition, then Amazon will return the item back to your inventory. But they'll also deduct the revenue of the sale from your account, and you will not be reimbursed any of the FBA fees. I know it sucks, but that's just how it is. Now, if the returned item isn't in resellable condition, then one of two things can happen. Amazon's going to determine who's at fault. If the item was defective or damaged and it was Amazon's fault, or due to something that happened during the fulfillment process, then Amazon will take full responsibility and refund the buyer and also refund you the cost of the product, including all of the FBA fees, to make you whole again. However, if Amazon deems that the product was damaged or defective because it was something on your end, such as poor manufacturing or quality control, including if it was damaged by the customer themselves, then Amazon will not take responsibility. They'll refund the buyer and you will not get reimbursed the cost of the item or any of the fees. In both scenarios where the product is not in resellable condition, Amazon will not return the item back to your inventory. They will instead place it in your unfulfillable inventory, and you'll get an option to either have Amazon destroy the item, or you can have it shipped somewhere, such as to yourself if you want to inspect it, refurbish it, or do whatever you please with it. In both cases, however, there are fees involved. For example, if you want Amazon to dispose or ship it somewhere, it will cost around 30 cents a unit, depending on the size and weight of the item. Whenever you get a return, you'll get an email notification of the outcome, and whether or not it's in sellable condition. And then you can take action on it, such as shipping it or having it disposed. You can actually automate this action in your seller account settings. So if you log into Seller Central and click on Settings and go to Fulfillment by Amazon, if you scroll down to Automated Unfulfillable Removal Settings, you can click on the Edit button and then Enable Unfulfillable Removals, and then you can choose what to automate here. You can either return or dispose. One thing to note, if a customer contacts you directly about a return or a refund, and you issue the refund to them yourself, meaning the buyer doesn't go through the normal product return process on their Amazon account order history, Amazon will not reimburse you anything. All right, so keep that in mind. So if a customer does contact you asking about a refund or return, always direct them to initiate a return process through their order history. Also, in some cases, Amazon may send replacement items to your customer, and in those cases, Amazon will ship a replacement item free of charge to the customer directly from your inventory. So you as a seller, you're not going to receive any payment or be charged any fees. So basically, you're eating the cost of that replacement item, but you still keep the revenue from the original sale. Now, I know this all sounds pretty confusing and seemingly unfair, but to be honest, I don't worry about it. Like I said earlier, returns is part of the business. It's going to happen regardless of what you do. So just focus on generating more sales and double check that Amazon is reimbursing you accurately. And other than that, I don't waste any more time or energy on returns. There are a few things though that I want to point out. Amazon tracks your account health based on several metrics. One of them being the ODR, or the order defect rate. It's the measure of your ability to provide good customer experience, and an ODR above 1% may result in your account being deactivated. Amazon also tracks your return rate ratio. And as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, returns can vary from 5 to 15% or higher depending on the category. So if your return rate ratio gets too high, Amazon will suspend your listing and you'll have to submit a formal plan of action on how you'll fix the problem with your product before Amazon will reactivate the listing. So this is why it's very important to always have a product inspection done before your product leaves your manufacturer's warehouse, so that you can ensure your product's quality. If you do start getting a lot of returns, especially in the beginning when you just launched your product, what I suggest doing is having the returned items sent back to you so that you can inspect them to see if there's something wrong. If you do discover that there is a defect or problem with your product, you want to contact your supplier and have them fix it so the problem doesn't continue to happen on future orders. A few other things you can do to help mitigate returns is to make sure that you have a very detailed product description. Clearly state what the product can and can't do so that there's no ambiguity. Accurately describe the materials, size, and color using a sizing chart, listing the dimensions, and with high quality professional photos. This way, you can reduce any ambiguity and the risk of returns due to a misunderstanding. The key is to avoid returns as they usually come with bad reviews, as disgruntled customers are more likely to write a review. And a pro tip, while on the subject of reviews, if a buyer leaves you a bad review, whether if it's a product review or a seller feedback, if the review is about anything fulfillment or shipping related, Amazon will take full responsibility since it's not your fault. Just contact seller support and they'll remove that review. So if you want to get in touch with me, you can find all of my contact details in the video description below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment or question in the comment section below. I answer every single one. And as always, if you found value in this video, consider subscribing. And do me a favor, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, as it really does help me out and I'd really appreciate it. And make sure you ring the bell so you never miss a future video. All right? Thanks for watching.